Dear Thai, dear Sangha, dear Earth, I'm not sure if I can ask this question skillfully, but I've been with the practice since 2005, on and off, and something that I've really struggled with in recently is the use of right-wrong thinking. And it might be the way I understand it, but sometimes we talk about right livelihood. And in Japan, there was a Dharma talk about right mindfulness, wrong mindfulness. And in presentations in the past of beginning anew, there was encouragement to think about what you did wrong to the other person. And I guess I struggle with this because I've seen so much pain and suffering coming from right-wrong thinking. And that often, for me, what it does is it nourishes the seeds of judgment, that you're wrong or I'm wrong, and it creates more suffering. And so since Plum Village has been really a space of refuge and hope, that when I come into contact with sort of these words being used, and also even seeing in the Sangha, I'm from Japan, and in the Japanese Sangha, I can really see the right-wrong thinking becoming a block for compassion to spread in the Sangha, and that sometimes people feel isolated from that they did something wrong, or you're doing something wrong, so fix it. And so I guess I wonder why, what to do with this reality, that we do use right and wrong in our language, but it seems to nourish the seeds of non-compassion. And so, yeah, if you have any insight into this struggle.
Dear Thai, dear community, first of all, I feel the main elements of suffering is in you. Beside the right and wrong issue outside of us, the main seed of suffering is in us. As the Buddha and Thai used to say, the main reason for our anger is the seed of our anger in us. Beside the conditions watering the seed of anger in us. And you mentioned about the watering the seed of judgment in us, and that seed of judgment is one cause of our suffering. And when we go down to the practice of understanding and love, then we can embrace both right and wrong, as we embrace our right hand and our left hand as one, our body. That is the beauty of our practice. So right mindfulness, right concentration, insight, understanding and love, embrace both suffering and happiness. Embrace both right and wrong. So when we go deep down like that, it include everything. And in our collective training as human beings, we need some right and wrong. And in Asian, Confucianism is quite strong in us, and in some cultures as well. But again, the practice of inclusiveness, thanks to the insight of interbeing, we include both the beauty as well as the suffering, the wrong thinking, and so on, causing suffering, and the right thinking, creating happiness. And by doing like that, we protect ourselves from judgment. We protect ourselves from being a victim of right and wrong. You see that? And this is a reality, living together. We are so colorful, we are so multicultural. And so by understanding the way we are functioning, we can try to embrace, to include. So for me, to conclude, right mindfulness, right concentration inside the Eightfold Path include and right and wrong. It doesn't push wrong away. It doesn't become opposite of wrong. That is the difference. Right mindfulness is not opposite of wrong mindfulness as we used to think. That is very subtle. Right mindfulness includes and wrong thinking, causing suffering, and right thinking, creating happiness. It includes right hand and left hand as well. That is true understanding and love, based on right mindfulness, right concentration, insight. True interbeing. That has Thai teachers. Thank you. Please add more.
When I heard this question, I could, my compassion arose very easily for you, asking the question. Probably because I have many occasions where I have felt the seed of the pain of judgment being awoken in me. And so, as Brother very beautifully suggested, to see the pain in ourselves and to practice with that is always our first practice. And in my experience, when something arises in a Sangha, it's very helpful, usually, after we have started practicing with our own pain, so we can speak from our own pain. then we may be ready to ask whether also other people in the Sangha feel that their habit of judgment, whether that suffering gets touched in them too. And when we have asked, then we know, is this something that in practice right now in our Sangha is a problem mainly for me? I look for ways of helping me to practice with that. And if it is an issue for more people, then we are already a Sangha who can talk about and share about how we would like our Sangha to be.
Dear Thầy, dear Sangha, I think this question is relevant to a lot of areas, because living in the world, we always have to face with something going with our liking and something not going with our liking. And we see that this is right, and we think that the other one is wrong. The question is right to whom? What is right? And wrong, what is the object of that? And this based on a lot of things. It's based on the way we were trained, it's based on the culture, it's based on the collective belief, it's based on so many things. And nobody can decide that what is really right and what is really wrong. But I think the deep one inside is in our heart, whether that one goes with compassion or not. And you feel like when you feel like the judgment of right and wrong is so much, then it blocks the compassion, the seed of compassion. My understanding is that if we practice, so then we always trying and practice in such a way that our compassion is cultivating. It doesn't matter what you label it, whether it's right or wrong. I love the sharing of cherry maple, and also I remember the answer from Thay to her and to other people, like, when you carry a gun, doesn't mean that you don't have compassion. Same thing when we look deep into the terrorists, when they carry the bomb, and they kill so many people. In their mind, they are doing something right. So nobody can judge other people, because there are things that there is an explanation behind everything when people are doing. I think our practice is like my brother suggested, that we practice in such a way so our mind is open and our heart is open. Then we can embrace both. And deep down, everybody is human being. Deep down, everybody is facing the same thing: happiness, suffering. So we practice in such a way that we can transform the suffering and we can cultivate mindfulness so that it can embrace everything and can make us become more happy, more compassionate. And I think that is the main thing that we have to deal with ourselves. We cannot change any society, and we cannot asking them to change neither, because it's a collective thing that it is very complex. It's very complicated. It involves so many different things. And who are we? Of course, when we believe something is right, and we do have the Sangha to certify that our belief is correct, as an OI member or as an engaged Buddhism practitioner, we will try to do our best. We don't close our eyes. We will try to do our best to improve the situation, but we don't judge other people because they might have reason why they did it. That reason might not suit with our thinking, but everybody has their own freedom of thought, and everybody will be responsible for their actions. Thank you.